All right, so ready to dive into the world of the hotel concierge. Think, personalized recommendations, insider access, and those how do they do that moments for every guest. We've got you covered. Pulling the best from RoleCatcher's career guys and their interview prep. You'll walk into that interview feeling like a total insider.
It's funny how many people think a concierge is just about dinner reservations. We're talking about way more: orchestrating entire experiences, securing tickets to sold-out shows, finding that perfect hidden gem restaurant that matches a guest's super specific craving.
Okay, so you're like a local expert,
Right.
a problem solver, maybe even a little bit of a magician.
Yeah.
But before we get lost in the magic, what will they actually ask in the interview?
Right. One of the most common questions is, can you tell us about your experience working in a concierge role? Now, you might not have that exact title on your resume. Don't let that stop you.
Ah, this is where we dig into those transferable skills.
Yeah.
I've definitely had customer service jobs where I went above and beyond, but how do I spin that to be concierge relevant?
Think about those times you had to think on your feet, anticipate needs, or maybe even bend the rules a little to make something happen for a customer. Did you ever have to calm down a frustrated customer, find a creative solution to a tricky problem? That's all concierge gold.
So even if I was slinging lattes instead of booking limousines, those problem-solving skills still matter. Here's one that always makes me nervous. How do you stay current on local events and activities? I mean, I love exploring my city, but is that really enough?
Passion is key here. They want to see that spark when you talk about your city's hidden gems. Talk about those blogs you follow, the local magazines you read, or even that time you stumbled upon an amazing jazz club hidden down some side street.
Oh, that's good. It's not just knowing stuff. It's about showcasing that love for the city, that desire to uncover those unique experiences. What about those difficult guest situations?
Yeah.
How do you handle difficult guest requests without sounding like a pushover?
A well-chosen story is your best friend here. Think about a time you had to deal with a demanding customer. Maybe someone upset about a long wait or a change in plans. Did you stay calm? Did you empathize with their frustration? And most importantly, did you find a solution that left them feeling heard and satisfied?
Okay, so it's not about giving a textbook answer. It's about showcasing my skills in action. What if the interviewer pushes further and asks, give me a specific example of a time you resolved a conflict between guests?
Don't panic. Even if you haven't worked as a concierge before, think about any time you had to mediate a disagreement, maybe between friends or family members. The key is to highlight your ability to listen to all sides, find common ground, and facilitate a resolution that everyone can live with.
This is starting to feel like a master class in conflict resolution. But honestly, those skills are transferable to so many parts of life, not just the concierge desk.
Exactly. And speaking of going above and beyond, let's tackle this question. Can you tell us about a time when you went above and beyond for a guest?
Ooh, story time. This feels like a chance to really let my personality shine through. Show them why I'm the concierge they need.
It is. Paint a vivid picture of a time you exceeded expectations. Something that made a guest feel truly special. Maybe you helped them plan a surprise proposal, track down a rare book, or simply remembered their favorite drink order.
Okay, so it's about those small, thoughtful gestures that turn a good experience into an unforgettable one. Now let's switch gears to something more serious. How do you handle confidential guest information? This feels like a no-brainer, but I want to make sure I convey the gravity of this responsibility.
Absolutely. Emphasize your understanding of privacy protocols, your
Mhm.
discretion, and your unwavering commitment to protecting guest information. Mention any specific procedures you followed in the past, like secure databases or data protection policies.
This makes me think of a potential follow-up question. Have you ever encountered a situation where you had to refuse a request for information due to privacy concerns? How did you handle it?
That's a great example of a potential follow-up. They want to see that you can uphold those privacy standards even when faced with pressure or difficult requests.
Okay, so it's about demonstrating that I understand the boundaries and that I can handle those delicate situations with professionalism and tact. Now let's shift gears to something a bit more logistical. How do you ensure that all guest requests are fulfilled in a timely manner? Time management is clearly key here, but how do I convey that I'm a master of organization without sounding like I'm just reciting a to-do list?
Share your methods for staying organized, whether it's a color-coded calendar, a trusty to-do list app, or a system for prioritizing tasks based on urgency.
So it's about showcasing those organizational skills, but also demonstrating that I can adapt and prioritize when things get hectic. Now, speaking of hectic,
Mm-hmm.
how do you handle multiple guest requests simultaneously? without making it sound like I'd crumble under pressure.
They're looking for someone who can multitask, prioritize, and maintain that calm demeanor even when the requests are flying in from all directions.
So should I mention specific techniques like active listening or using a system for tracking requests?
Absolutely. And if they ask for a specific example, think about a time when you successfully juggled multiple projects or requests, maybe during a busy period at a previous job. Explain how you approached the situation, the steps you took, and how you ensured everything was completed on time and to a high standard.
Okay, I'm starting to see how those seemingly unrelated experiences can actually be incredibly relevant to this role. It's all about connecting the dots and showcasing those transferable skills.
Precisely. Now, before we delve into more of those interview questions, let's take a quick detour and talk about the bigger picture of this career path. Understanding the pros and cons is crucial for deciding if it's the right fit for you.
Okay, lay it on me. The good, the bad, and the potentially glamorous.
Well, one of the biggest perks is the constant interaction with people from all walks of life. You're learning about their cultures, helping them create memories, and building those connections that can lead to some pretty amazing networking opportunities.
Okay, the social butterfly in me loves that. But what about the financial side of things? Is this a career where I can thrive, not just survive?
While the base salary might not be extravagant, the potential for lucrative tips is a major draw. Guests who receive exceptional service are often quite generous, especially if you've helped them secure those hard-to-get reservations or tickets.
Okay, so it's a combination of base pay and those wow factor moments that can lead to some extra cash in your pocket.
Yeah.
But let's be real. What about the downsides? I'm sure it's not all champagne and caviar.
You're right, it's not always glamorous. Be prepared for long and irregular hours. Hotels operate around the clock, and guest needs don't adhere to a 9-to-5 schedule.
So weekends, holidays, late nights, it's all part of the game.
Exactly. And you need to be prepared to handle those demanding guests we talked about earlier. Not every guest is going to be a ray of sunshine, so thick skin and conflict resolution skills are a must.
Okay, I'm getting a realistic picture of the challenges involved.
Yeah.
But what about career growth? Is there room for advancement within this role?
That's a question you should definitely ask during the interview. While upward mobility within the concierge role itself might be limited, there are paths to specialization. You could focus on event planning travel arrangements, or even become a luxury concierge for high-profile guests.
So it's about thinking strategically about how to leverage those concierge skills for broader career advancement. Speaking of strategy, let's talk about how RoleCatcher can help me stand out in this competitive field.
Absolutely. RoleCatcher isn't just about finding generic answers online. It's about tailoring your responses to the specific job you're applying for. Its AI analyzes the job description and identifies the key skills they're looking for, helping you craft answers that hit those specific notes.
So it's like having a personal interview coach in my pocket, making sure I'm putting my best foot forward and highlighting those experiences that are most relevant to the role. But what about those moments when I'm struggling to articulate my thoughts or find the right words to express my experience?
That's where RoleCatcher's feedback feature comes in. It's like having a mock interview with an expert. You can practice your answers, get personalized feedback, and refine your delivery until you feel confident and ready to knock those interview questions out of the park.
Okay, I'm feeling empowered and ready to tackle those interview questions head on. But before we dive into more of them, let's take a quick break and come back with even more insights and strategies to help you land that dream concierge job. Welcome back to our deep dive into the world of the Hotel Concierge. Before the break, we were talking about showcasing those transferable skills. Let's jump back into some common interview questions.
Excellent point. A question that often comes up is, how do you handle a situation where a guest is dissatisfied with their experience? This is where your empathy and problem-solving skills really shine.
Oh, I can definitely relate to this one. We've all been that frustrated customer. So how do I show the interviewer that I can turn a negative experience into a positive one?
It's not just about offering a generic apology. It's about actively listening to their concerns, acknowledging their frustration, and then going above and beyond to find a solution. Maybe it's offering a complimentary upgrade, a discount on their next stay, or even a handwritten apology note from the manager.
So it's about turning that uh-oh moment into a wow, they really care moment. Now let's talk about personalization. How do I answer? How do you ensure that all guests receive personalized attention and service without sounding like I'm just reading from a hospitality textbook?
Think about those small, memorable details that make a guest feel valued. It could be remembering their name, their preferences, or even a special occasion they might be celebrating. It's about going beyond the transaction and creating those personal touches that make a stay into an experience.
So it's those little things,
Mm.
like greeting a returning guest by name or remembering their preference for a corner table at breakfast.
Mm.
Now, here's a question that gets to the heart of what a concierge does. What are some unique and memorable experiences you could recommend to guests visiting our city?
This is your chance to showcase your local expertise. Go beyond the typical tourist traps. Highlight those hidden gems, those local favorites. Think about experiences that align with different interests. Whether it's a foodie tour through a cool neighborhood, a behind-the-scenes art gallery tour, or a hike to a breathtaking viewpoint.
It's about painting a picture of the city as a playground of possibilities,
Mm.
tailored to each guest's unique desires.
Hmm.
What if they throw in a curveball, like a guest is looking for something very specific and unusual? How would you go about finding it for them?
Don't be afraid to think outside the box. It's about tapping into your network, your resources, and your knowledge of the city. Maybe you know a local artisan who creates custom jewelry, or a collector who specializes in vintage vinyl records. It's about showing them you can handle those unique and challenging requests.
Okay, this is making me realize that being a concierge is about being a detective, a researcher, a networker, and a creative problem solver all in one offer. But let's get back to those interview questions. I know that some hotels might have specific requirements or expectations for their concierge team. How do I prepare for those questions that are tailored to the particular hotel or brand I'm interviewing with?
Research is key. Before you even step into that interview room, spend time exploring the hotel's website, reading reviews online, and familiarize yourself with their brand, their values, and their target demographic.
So it's about going beyond the generic and showing them that I've taken the time to understand what makes this particular hotel unique and how my skills and experiences align with their specific needs.
Exactly. If they ask, why do you want to work as a concierge at this hotel? Have a compelling answer ready. Connect your personal interests to their brand, mention specific initiatives, or highlight how your values resonate with their company culture.
Okay, so it's not just about showcasing my skills, it's about demonstrating that I'm genuinely interested in this hotel and that I understand what they're all about. Now, what about questions that go a bit deeper into operations? What if they ask about my experience handling guest complaints, managing reservations, or using specific hotel software?
It's a good idea to brush up on your knowledge of common hotel procedures and technologies. Familiarize yourself with different types of reservation systems, guest relations, best practices, and any software programs mentioned in the job description.
So it's about showcasing my willingness to learn and my ability to adapt to those hotel-specific systems and processes.
Exactly. And don't be afraid to acknowledge areas where you might need further training. Enthusiasm and a willingness to learn can be just as impressive as years of experience.
Speaking of experience, let's talk about the importance of networking and building relationships within the hospitality industry. How can I tap into those connections, especially if I'm new to the field?
Attending industry events is a great way to meet people, learn about new trends, and make those connections. Consider joining professional associations like the International Concierge and Lifestyle Management Association. These organizations offer resources, networking opportunities, and insights into the industry.
Okay, so it's a mix of in-person and online networking, actively engaging with the industry and building those relationships that can open doors. But let's be realistic, not everyone is a natural networker. Any tips for those of us who feel a bit awkward or intimidated by the whole networking scene?
Start small. Reach out to people you admire on LinkedIn, attend a local event, or even just strike up a conversation with someone working at a hotel you admire. Networking is about building genuine connections, not just collecting business cards.
So it's about approaching networking with curiosity and genuine interest, not just as a transaction. Now, before we wrap up this section on interview preparation, let's circle back to RoleCatcher and how its AI can be that secret weapon in helping me stand out.
RoleCatcher is more than just interview prep. It's a comprehensive career platform. Its AI-powered resume builder analyzes job descriptions and suggests ways to optimize your resume for those applicant tracking systems that most companies use.
Okay, you're speaking my language. I've heard about those applicant tracking systems, but they've always felt like this mysterious black box that can make or break your chances.
Think of them as digital gatekeepers, scanning your resume for specific keywords and phrases. If your resume doesn't have those, it might get overlooked before a human even sees it.
Ouch, that's brutal. So RoleCatcher's AI helps me sprinkle those keywords throughout my resume so I can make it past the gatekeeper and into the hands of a real person.
Exactly. It analyzes the job description, identifies those must-have keywords, and suggests ways to incorporate them. It's about making sure your resume is both human-readable and ATS-friendly.
Okay, now that's what I call working smarter, not harder. But what about after I've landed the interview? How can RoleCatcher help me prepare for those tough questions and make a good impression?
RoleCatcher's AI-powered interview prep tool is like having a coach. It analyzes the job description, identifies the key skills and qualities they're looking for, and helps you craft answers that highlight your most relevant experiences.
So it's about tailoring my responses to the specific needs of that hotel or role, making sure I'm hitting all the right notes and addressing their specific expectations.
Precisely. And the best part is you can practice your answers out loud and receive personalized feedback from the AI. It analyzes your responses, identifies areas for improvement, and offers suggestions.
Okay, now that's impressive. It's like having a mock interview with an expert, but without the pressure.
Ah,
What are those essential qualities that make a concierge truly exceptional? What advice do you have for connecting with potential employers and showcasing those all-important soft skills?
think about the qualities that would make you feel valued as a guest. Attentiveness, empathy, a genuine desire to help, and knack for problem-solving, a warm personality. These traits set exceptional concierges apart.
I love that. It's about putting myself in the guest's shoes and thinking about what would make their experience memorable. So it's not just about providing information and services, it's about creating a connection, building trust,
Yeah.
and making them feel like they're in good hands.
Exactly. Remember, you're not just filling a role, you're crafting an experience for yourself and the guests you serve. Now, before we move on to our final thoughts on becoming a hotel concierge, let's delve a little deeper into RoleCatcher and explore how its AI can help you. We'll be right back after a quick message.
We're back talking about how to nail that hotel concierge interview. Before the break, we were discussing the importance of that genuine passion for hospitality. But let's be real, in today's job market, you need more than just a great personality.
You're right. That's where technology like RoleCatcher can really help. We've talked about the resume builder and interview prep, but there's another tool that's especially useful for aspiring concierges, the Career Compass.
Okay, Career Compass sounds interesting. Tell me more.
It's a personalized career planning tool that uses AI to help you map out your career path, identify your strengths and weaknesses, and discover new opportunities you might not have thought of.
So it's like having a personal career counselor guiding me through the hospitality industry.
Exactly. Think of it this way. You wouldn't go on a road trip without a GPS, right? The Career Compass is like a GPS for your career. It helps you navigate and make smart decisions.
Okay, I like that analogy. But let's get back to the interview questions. We've talked about a lot, but are there any other tricky ones I should be ready for?
You might get questions that test your knowledge of the specific hotel or brand. They might ask about the hotel's history, their unique selling points, or even their target customer.
So it's not enough to be a local expert. I need to be an expert on their brand too.
It's about showing you've done your homework. Spend time on their website, read reviews, and get familiar with their story.
This makes me think, what if they ask, what do you know about our hotel's commitment to sustainability? Or how would you describe our brand to someone who's never stayed with us?
Those are great examples. They want to know you're truly interested in their hotel, not just any hotel.
Okay, so it's about showing I'm not just looking for a job. I want the right job, a place where my skills and passions fit.
Exactly. And don't forget, an interview goes both ways. Ask thoughtful questions about the role, the team, or the hotel's plans.
Ooh, good point. What kind of questions would really impress them? I'm thinking about the bigger picture.
You could ask about professional development opportunities, the hotel's approach to guest satisfaction, or even their vision for the future of the concierge role.
Okay, so it's about showing I'm not just there for a paycheck. I'm looking for a place to grow and contribute.
Exactly. And even after the interview, follow up with a thank you note. Show your interest and highlight key points. It makes a difference.
So it's about showing my professionalism, my attention to detail, and my genuine enthusiasm.
Exactly. And as you start this career path, remember to keep learning. The hospitality industry is always changing. So stay curious, stay informed, and always look for ways to improve your skills.
So what does all this mean for you as you get ready to become a hotel concierge? You're not just showing up for an interview, you're walking in ready to shine.
Remember, preparation is key. Research the hotel, get ready for the questions, and use RoleCatcher's AI to perfect your answers and really show what you can do.
And most importantly, let that passion for hospitality shine through. Being a hotel concierge is about creating those unforgettable experiences that make guests feel welcome, valued, and truly cared for.
Good luck, and may your journey be filled with amazing moments and connections.